that you want something contrasting, tall and short, you are going to cross them. Okay. Yeah. So if you take something like, if I take another trait, let's say if I take another
Hello,
trait
sir.
like hello, please let me hear you, please. Ajingo.
Sir,
Yes, please.
thank you. Now, code has now joined and they've
Okay.
now started with their recordings. I will plead if you can do a summary, just 2 minute summary of the first part,
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
for blending inheritance, so that we can just then you fuse this one into straightforward.
Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. Okay.
Thank
So
you,
let's
sir.
start. So we have something we call, so when we talk of Mendelian genetics, okay, so what we're going to talk about is that, so in fact, the father of modern genetics is what is actually credited to Gregor Johann Mendel, okay. And what did he do? What he did was to investigate something we call hybrid vigor. And when you say hybrid vigor, is basically the hybrid, okay, okay, being fitter than the what, than the extremes, okay. So let's take it this way that, and I gave analogy here. It's a local bed, hard bones, foreign bed, soft bones, and then I'll cross the local bed with a foreign bed to get a hybrid, which means that the hybrid that I'm gonna get is what is actually a mixture of the word, the trait that I will get now from what? From crossing the word, the local bed, and then the word, the foreign bed. The hybrid I will get will have a blend. So you pick maybe a little bit, a blend of the word, soft bone and the word, and hard bone. Okay, good. That's what the hybrid vigor is all about. Then I said that in what? In 19th century Europe, okay, all right, somewhere in 1860s, okay, hybrid vigor became very popular. People were so fascinated about hybrid vigor. And then so people were keen to investigate about it. All right. And here we are. We have this Augustinian monk by name Gregor Johann Mendel, who had then enrolled to the University of what, Vienna in Austria, to go and study what? Botany and mathematics. All right. And so this man who happens to be an Augustinian monk. Okay. Okay. Augustinian what? Seems Augustine, right? Augustinian monk. All right. So this Augustinian monk at the Royal University of Vienna to study what? Botany and mathematics. Okay. And so he was brought on board by his professor to come and study hybrid vigor. All right. And before he started his experiment, there was already existing theory. And that theory in existence was called blending inheritance. And what is blending inheritance? What this blending inheritance simply means is that the characters or the traits, when you see traits in genetics, it means characters, the traits of offspring, okay, the traits of offspring are a blend of that of their what? Of their parent. And then if you look at the analogy I gave here, okay, that if you say, let's a black man marrying what? Black man marrying a white woman. Okay, what you get is what? Half caste. And this half caste, their skin pigment, okay, their skin pigment is a blend of the black man and the white woman. Okay, all right. Their skin pigment is white. So anytime you talk of blending inheritance, it's basically that it means that what we expect is that if I'm a tall man marries what? A short woman, we expect that the children should be what? Average of the two. That was what the theory is saying. Okay, that's like the way skin pigment works. Okay, that's so you expect that when a tall man marries what? A short woman, we expect that the children should be of average height. Okay, so likewise, like the skin color. Okay, so this hybrid vigor, which had become popular in Europe in the 19th century, okay, then Mendel came on board that he's going to do what? He's going to investigate it. But before his experiment, there was what? There was a theory in existence. And that theory is called what? The blending what? Inheritance. So Mendel, from word go, he's going to study what? Hybrid. He's going to study hybrid. Okay? He's going to study hybrid. All right? From the word go, he's going to study hybrid. And if I'm going to study hybrid, what do you need? You need to take what? A contrasting what? Characters. Okay? We need to take what? A contrasting characters. So what is the contrasting character we are going to take? So if you take something like height, okay, you take something like height, we need tall, and then what? And then what? Short. If let's say if you take something like what? Let's say if you take something like let's say if you take something like please let me pick this picture quickly, and then get back to you. Just pick up. Okay, so sorry a little bit. Okay, so here what happens is that if so I'm going to take contrasting traits. So which means if I take something like this, if I take something like this, let's say if I take something like this, seed color, okay, or maybe flower color, let's say flower color, then I will take what? I will take let's say black flower, okay, crossing with what? I'll take black flower and what? And white flower. Okay, you can see that in both cases. So the trait is what? The trait is flower color. That's the trait. But you see, each trait that I will pick, I'm picking what? Contrasting. I'm picking those with contrasting traits. You see, color, I'll pick black and white. Let's take it this way, that if I pick something like, if I choose another seed like what? Let's say seed. Let's see if I put something like seed what? Seed texture. I will pick what? What will I pick? I will pick
smooth and rough.
Good. I'm going to pick what? Smooth what? So I'll pick smooth. Crossing with what? With rough. So you can see that because Mendel was interested in what? Mendel was interested in hybrid. Hybrid vigor was what is guiding his work. So everything that he picked what? The contrasting what? Trait. Okay, each trait that he picked, and he picked 7 of them. He picked 7. All right, each of them he picked what? Contrasting traits. Okay, so if you pick height as a trait, you pick what? Tall and short. If you pick flower color, you pick black and white. Okay, all right. If you pick what? If you pick seed texture, you pick smooth and rough. Okay, so you pick about what? About 7 traits, and each of the 7 traits, you pick what? The contrasting traits. Okay, beautiful. Now, you see, before his experiment, there's already what? There's a theory in existence. Okay, so before Mendel's experiment, there's what? There's a theory in what? In existence. Okay, there's a theory in existence. All right, so let's see that. Okay, so before his experiment, there is a theory in what? Existence called blending inheritance, and that theory will guide this what? So now let's see what Mendel is going to do. So let me go and draw So let's see. What Mendel decided to do was that. What Mendel decided to do was that he's a monk. Okay, a monk is not like Obinim type of word of pastors or something like that. You know, proper priests. Okay, so what is he going to do? Now, this particular monk decided to do what? That I'm going to pick contrasting traits. So he asks of what? Pea plants, okay, across Europe. Pea plants, he asks of pea plants across Europe. Okay, and the reason he picked pea plants was that, okay, one of the reasons he picked pea plants was that pea plants has what? Has a lot of what? Has a lot of what? Contrasting traits. So the reason for pea plants, pick pea plants has what? Has a lot of what? A lot of contrasting traits. All right, pea plant has a lot of what? Contrasting traits. That's one point. The pea plant can also what? Pea plant can undergo self-pollination, as well as self-pollination, as well as what? As well as cross-pollination. Okay? Then another thing about pea plants is that pea plant has relatively short lifespan, meaning that it can work, you can plant the seed to germinate, grow, it will flower and fruit in a relatively short lifespan. Okay, and then pea plant, again, the pea plant itself too has what? You can see that it's a small plant. It's a small herbaceous plant. Okay, so small herbaceous plant means that a lot of them, can be cultivated in a relatively small space. All right, so here pea plant has a lot of contrasting traits. Remember what is guiding that experiment is hybrid vigor. This is what is guiding you. So day one go, hybrid vigor is guiding you. And so if you are going to study hybrid, it means that everything you are going to take should have what? Contrasting traits. And so pea plant gives that opportunity, because in pea plant you can get tall pea plant and short. So you can get what? Tall, short. Okay, you can get what? You can get rough, smooth seed. Okay, we can get what? We can get black flower, okay, and what? White flower. Okay, white flower. All right, so you can see that pea plant gives that sort of opportunity, that contrasting trait. Apart from that, the pea plant can undergo self-pollination as well as what? Cross-pollination. So which means I can deliberately allow the plant to undergo self-pollination, and I can also deliberately allow the plant to undergo cross-pollination. And it has short lifespan. The life cycle, short lifespan. And then another thing is that it has what? It's a herbaceous plant, and a lot can be cultivated in relatively small space. Okay, so that's the reason that he picked pea plants. Okay, good. Now that he has picked pea plants, let's see. Now Mendel is going to perform his experiment. And so let's see. Do you know what he did? He asked of pea plants all over Europe. And look at what he said. He will ask of what? If it is height that he picked, he's going to pick what? He asks of what? I need pure tall plant. That's what he said, though. Pure tall plant. Okay, And then you also ask of what? You also ask of what? Pure short plant. You see what Mendel did? So in terms of height, you ask of what? Pure tall, pure short across Europe. So you ask the farmers across Europe, please, do you have pea plant that it is pure tall and then pure where? And then pure tall, then some farmers will provide the pure tall, other farmers will provide the word pure tall word plant, pea plant, okay? Pea plant. All right. So now he's going to cross them. So let's see what he's going to do. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so let's say now I'm going to take height alone, just height. So now Mendel has what? Mendel has this plant, the pea plant. Pea plant. Okay, and then we are considering one for now. Okay, we are considering one trait. Okay, all right. Now let's see. So inheritance. Okay, so let's see. So let's see. Let me put this one here. So inheritance that considers what? Considers only one trait is called what? Is called monohybrid. Monohybrid inheritance. Okay, so here I'm going to consider only one trait now. So let's say Mendel, we are going to consider only one trait, height. So Mendel pick one. Remember what Mendel did? Mendel asked of what? Tall plant, tall pea plant, crossing with what? Short pea plant. All right, so let's see what is going to happen. So remember, before the experiment, there was a theory in existence. So this is a tall pea plant, like that. And then this is a short pea plant, like that. Okay. So what was Mendel expecting? Mendel, so this is what Mendel picked. So this is pure tall plant here, pure short plant here. So this is pure tall. Mendel has picked pure tall plant, pure short, and this is pure tall, like that. Okay, now let's see what is going to happen here. Now with this pure tall, remember before the start of experiment, there was a theory in existence. So Mendel was actually expecting something like this. Was expecting that the offspring should be something in the middle, like that. So this is what? This is Mendel expectation. This is what he was expecting. This is what Mendel was expecting. Okay, expectation, all right? So this is what Mendel was. So let me put something like E here. Okay, what you expect, okay? Good. So Mendel cross what? This is tall pea plant, short pea plant, and Mendel was expecting. Remember, because during that time, the theory existing was what? Was blending inheritance. So Mendel was what? Was actually expecting what? Was expecting that offspring, the children, should be in between, their height should be in between the tall and then the should have average height, average of the tall and the short. But surprisingly, when he conducted the experiment, this is what he had. This is what he observed. So they observed all the children came out to be tall. What? Okay, so you cross what? Tall plant, short plant, tall and short. expecting something with average height like this, only for you to have what? Only for you to have height like this. Wow. He was taken aback. What is actually going on? Okay. And do you know something? He repeated this one for other 6 more traits. You see, this one is height. Okay, I'm considering one height. I'm doing monohybrid inheritance. We are considering just the one trait, height. And he actually replicated that for 7 other traits. Okay, that let's take it this way, that you cross some, let's say if you take something like seed texture, and then you cross what? Rough seed. Okay, let's say smooth seed, cross with what? Rough seed. And then offspring came out. They came out and all of them were what? Smooth. What? No. Offspring came out to be smooth. Just like here. That how come that tall pea plant crossing with short pea plant, and the children came out all to be tall. So from the first experiment, Mendel has dealt a big blow to the blended inheritance. That the inheritance is not the way we thought. Hey, what is going on? Right? But Mendel didn't end there. And as I said, he repeated this for 7 other traits. 7 other traits meaning that he repeated some for what? He repeated it for the seed texture, flower color, seed color, shape, plenty stuff. And all of them were following the same trend as the what? As the pea plant height. That you cross and it's only one color type that you see. So tall pea plant, short pea plant, you cross them, and then what you see is only what? All the offspring came out to be what? To be tall. Wow. What is actually going on? This is strange. Something is happening. Okay. Mendel didn't end there. Now, so this tall here. Now you see, he crossed this one. So the first parent, these are the parents, the original parents. He crossed them. Okay. So let me come here. So he crossed them still on my height. So he crossed them like this. So he crossed them. He crossed the pea plants like this one. Tall plant, cross with what? Short plant. Okay. Plant. And guess what? All the children came out to be what? Tall plant. All right. All the children came out to be tall. Wow. So these are the parents, right? These are the parents. Okay. So these are the parents. Parents here. And this offspring becomes what? This offspring becomes first generation. First failure generation offspring. Okay, which we normally put as what? As F1. So all the F1 children came out to be tall. Wow. So I crossed this tall plant with, let's say, short plant, and the children came out to be what? Tall. Wow. What is going on? So he was confused. What's the next thing to do? Okay, he didn't end there. So so what he decided to do is that he is going to cross these children, this F1 children, this first generation children. Okay. So what he decided to do is that, so this is experiment 1. Experiment 1. You cross what? Pure tall with what? Pure short. And all the children came
Shots.
out to be what? All the children came out to
So,
be tall. Okay, it didn't end there. Then remember I told you that he replicated, he replicated for other traits. Height, seed texture, seed shape, seed color, flower color, other 6 more traits. Okay, and then they all pretty much that we were expecting average, but we ended up not getting average to take one of the traits, one of the parents. Okay, then let's see what Mendel did again. So Mendel didn't end his experiment. He did experiment 2. Experiment 2, what he decided to do was that, okay, experiment 2, what he decided to do was that, okay, he decided to cross this F1 children. F1, so F1, so F1, remember they are tall. So F1 tall, they are tall plants, and then cross the word with F1, okay, with which is also tall plant. Now when you cross what? When you cross organs of the same genotype, we call it what? We call it selfing. So this one, okay, selfing. Okay, all right. So in this one like that, you can allow self-pollination even to take place. All right, so selfing. So here we call it selfing. So you allow F1 to cross with what? F1. Remember, F1 children, they are all tall. Okay, so this one, when you cross them, we call this one what? Selfing. So you did a selfing, and guess what you observed? What you observed that the children that came, they were what? If they were 1,000, if the children, let's say if the what offspring were 1,000, what happened was that 750 were tall and 250 were short. What is happening? And remember this word, this, let me put it here. This offspring are what? These are second generation. So we call this one what? So when we cross F1, we are going to get what? We are going to get F2. So these are what? These are F2 offspring. So these are F2. So the F2 offspring, so that's the word. We call them second word, second filial generation. Like that. F2 offspring, second filial generation. Okay. Now we get our second filial generation. Beautiful. Okay. Now this second filial generation, we realize that the offspring, if they were 1,000, 750 are tall, and what? And 250 are short. What is going on? The man was confused. It means that the ratio of what? The ratio. Remember, this is what you observe. So the what you observe. So the observable feature. Okay, observable. The observable feature. What you observe. Okay, the observable feature, which is the height. The height. They were in what? They were in ratio of what? They were in ratio of, if 750 and what? If I should strike 750, so 750 tall is to what? 250 short. If I should write the ratio for them, what is it going to be?
It's 3:1.
3:1. Do you all agree? 3:1.
Yes, dog.
Do you all agree? My ladies, please, you all agree? Good.
Yes, please.
Good.
Yes,
And you
Doc.
see this observable feature. These are observable feature. That's the physical appearance. Okay, the physical appearance. The physical appearance, which, okay, the physical appearance. I normally like observable feature. Observable feature is what you call what? Phenotype. Phenotype. So what he observed, this phenotype, the ratio of this phenotype here, okay, from the second experiment was what? Was 3:1. So which is the word? Phenotypic word ratio. Okay, so this phenotype, the phenotype is the word, the observable feature or the physical appearance of the word, of the organism. Okay, that's the phenotype. So here, from the second experiment, okay, the crossing of what? F1, okay, F1 crossing with what? F1, okay, gave what? F2, that's the phenotypic ratio. Phenotypic ratio is what? It's equal to what? It's equal to 3:1. Please, are we getting it? Okay, so these are the two experiments Mendel did. Okay, first of all, pick the pure plant, pure tall, pure short, cross them, all of them came out to be tall. And these are the F1 generation. Then you cross the F1 generation to get F2. And you crossing something of the same genotype, we call it what? Selfing. Okay, so he solved F1 to get F2. And the F2, he realized that he observed that the ratio of tall to short were 3:1. So, and I said the physical appearance or the observable feature of the organism or of an organism is called phenotype. So what he observed was what? Phenotypic word ratio. And the phenotypic ratio was what? It's equal to what? 3:1. 3:1 phenotypic ratio. Right, beautiful. 3:1 phenotypic ratio. Nice. So with 3:1 phenotypic ratio, now let's see what Mendel did. Okay, what Mendel did, what conclusions that Mendel actually drew from what? So from Mendel's first experiment, do you know what he said? From the first experiment, he said that it means that the fact that I cross tall and what? Short, okay, and the children came out to be tall, it means that the tall trait, is what? Is dominant over what? Over short trait. Are you there? Good. So you can see that.
Please.
We can see that the first experiment from Mendel has dealt a big blow. Okay, a big blow to the what? To the blending inheritance. Because that's not what blending inheritance is saying. This one, first experiment is saying that the tall trait is dominant over what? Is dominant over the what? The short trait. Okay, meaning that so this first part of the experiment is a deadly blow to the blending what? Inheritance that we know. That no, inheritance doesn't work like that. Okay, that tall is dominant over what? Over short. So what does it mean? What it means here is that tall, if tall is equal to dominant, then it means that short is equal to what? Recessive. recessive. So from Mendel's first experiment, Mendel actually gave birth to the principle of what? The principle of dominance and recessivity. Okay, he made us aware that there are some traits that are dominant. In fact, please let me add the word complete. Complete here. Complete dominance and what? Recessivity. So from Mendel's first experiment, he made us aware that inheritance is not as blending as we thought, but some traits are dominant over other traits. Okay, in terms of what? The same trait, there are some the same traits. Okay, the same trait. Some what? The same traits. Some what? The same traits. Some are what? Some are dominant over the others. Meaning that the tall trait here, okay, is dominant what? Is dominant over the what? The short trait. So from Mendel's first experiment, he made the world aware that there is what? Principle of complete dominance and recessivity, making the what? The tall trait being dominant over what? Short trait. Meaning that if tall is dominant, it means that short is what? Recessive. Okay, good. So that is the message we took from what? From Mendel first experiment. Then it didn't end there. Mendel conducted the second experiment by solving the what? The F1 generation to get the what? F2 generation, the second Philip generation. And in that, he realized that when he did the crossing, he realized that the short that disappeared here has all of a sudden reappeared. Hey, then what is happening? It means that, so the short that we were thinking that it has disappeared, it has been swallowed, it has been masked by the what? By the tall trait. All of a sudden, when we solve this, the short has reappeared. Then from here, Mendel reasoned that, oh, then inheritance is not as blending again, but inheritance is as a result of what? A particle. Okay, so inheritance is as blending like paint. Okay, but inheritance is as a result of what? A particle. And that particle, it seems that at this point here, as you pass them from parent to offspring, they separate. So here like this, they separated. Okay, when they separated, the tall was dominant over the short. And then here, as they separated, when we did the selfing, the short one came together. And that's why we can see short. Wow, what a beautiful statement. So he said that so inheritance is by what? It's by inheritance is by a particle. Okay, a particle. Okay, so Mendel gave birth to something we call particulate inheritance. Okay, and this particle, Mendel called it what? A factor. Mendel called it a factor. Remember, that time the word chromosome had not been discovered. In fact, the word chromosome was coined in 1888, but Mendel was doing his experiments in 1860. Okay, in 1860s, that's when Mendel was doing his experiment. It was somewhere 1865 that Mendel even brought his word. He presented his finding. So he said that it seems that a trait is controlled by two factors, and these factors, as they pass from parent to offspring, they separate. Okay, and that actually gave birth to Mendel's first law, because those factors were here, and they passed from parent to offspring, they separated. So here tall and short. So they separated here, but tall is dominant over short. That is why all of them came out to be tall. Now it means that this tall here, and this tall here, this tall here, and this short here, they have what? They have
Hello, sir.
something. Hello,
Hello, sir.
hello, please. Let me hear from you.
Please, our brother, you see, Mike is also giving us feedback. So if you can mute yourself,
Okay, so you see, please, can you
Somebody
Thank
is
you,
snoring.
Okay. All right. Good.
Wada?
So we have what? We have the factor. Mendel called that particle factor. Okay. And so what he did was that he came out with a certain law. What is the name of the law? What he said was that the factor they separate as they didn't pass on from parent to offspring. Okay. So Mendel came out with a law, the law which we call Mendel's what? Mendel's, okay, Mendel's first word, first law. And that Mendel first law is called the law of what? The law of segregation. Okay? And the word segregate means separation. Okay, that's a separation. Separation. Okay, that's the the word segregate means what? Separate. Okay. All right, like that. So in this law, what did he say? He stated that a trait is controlled by a pair of factors, and the factors and these factors separate as they are being passed on from what? From parent to offspring. Are you with me? So according to Mendel, the trait is controlled by what? A pair of factors. Okay, so here, which means that inheritance is not by blend like paint, but it's a particle. And then he called that particle factors, those particles factors. That the trait is controlled by a pair of factors. And these factors, they separate as they are being passed on from parent to offspring. Okay, beautiful. Mendel has conducted his experiment. But let's see one beautiful thing that Mendel did. Mendel did that I always salute Mendel. You see, Mendel did this one here. Have you seen this toy here? This one here. This, if I come here like that, you can see those children here. Those children here, they are tall. All right, they are tall, right? Those people here, they are tall. The one I just highlighted. Okay, let me take different color. Let me highlight in different color. These ones, they are tall. The F1 kids. F1 kids say they are tall. Now, this one, they are also tall. Now, so what is the difference? If I have this one, how would I know that this one is pure tall? So Mendel did something we call test cross. So after stating there's something we call, okay, test what? Test cross, okay? Test cross, all right? And in the test cross, what he did was that he crossed this one, okay? He crossed this, the F1 tall, okay? the F1 tall here, the parent tall, this parent tall here, okay, and then so he crossed this one like this, the F1 tall, let's say the parent tall first with a shot, and all of them came out to be what? Came out to be tall. Then do you know why? So this is one here. This, let's say the third experiment. One. And then still on this same experiment. So let's say, let me call this one A. A. Okay, he crossed up. This is the parent, tall parent, right? Tall parent. And then he crossed the B part. He crossed, okay, another tall plant, the F1, because the F1 tall with what? With short plant, right? F1 plant with short. And guess what? When he observed the plant, he realized that if there were 1,000 offspring, he had what? He had 500 tall is to what? 500 short. Meaning that tall to what? To short became what? 1:1. 1:1.
Hello, Doc.
All right. Hello, please.
Please, the shots that we are seeing here, is it the
Yes.
parent shot or a
For short,
one?
beautiful. Whether from the parent shot or from the child shot, it's a still shot. So let me call it parent shot. Let me add parent to make life easy. So let me add parent shot. Parent shot. Okay. All right. So let's take parent shot. So here he picked what? Tall plant from the parent one, and then another F1 tall plant, like that. Okay. You see this one, all the what? All the offspring. Please, mothers, mute your mic. All the offspring were short. Sorry. All the offspring were tall. All right. Here, all the offspring were tall. Okay. But when you come to the B part, when we cross the F1, those plants were also tall. But when you cross the F1 tall plant with a short, the offspring came out to be what? 50-50. Okay. That if they were 5,000, they will be 500. That's what he observed. So this one, which means that we can use the test cross to do what? To distinguish between organisms exhibiting the dominant trait. Okay, to know whether they are pure tall. Okay, whether they are pure or not. Are you with me? So you can see that, let's take it this way, that I don't know the height of this one. But when I cross it with a shot, all the children came out to be tall. Automatically, I will know that this one is pure tall. And then if you look at the F1, when I cross the F1, some of the children came out to be short. So even though they are tall, one is pure tall, the other one is not pure tall. All right, good. Now I know this thing that on my screen, you have issues and stuff like that, but don't worry. Do you know what? This is what Mendel did. Now, whatever Mendel has done, all this three experiment that this all these experiment that he has done, we are going to repeat the experiment with modern terms and see whether Mendel is right. Okay. So before that, let's see terms. Now we are modern day people. So let's see. We want to see whatever Mendel did. We want to now. We are now going to look at what Mendel did in the light of modern terms. Let's see. So what Mendel did, now we know there's a word called chromosome. Chromosome. Okay. All right. Okay. Chromosome, right? Good. Now, and according to Mendel, Mendel said that a trait is controlled by what? A pair of what? Alleles. Okay. And within, you see, on the chromosome, we have what? We have genes. And remember, these genes are what? Responsible for the what? For the transmission of hereditary features. For the transmission of what? Of hereditary features. Okay, good. Features that are passed on from what? Features that are passed on from parents to offspring. All right, good. Nice. Great. Now, so we have gene. So gene, let's take height. So we are talking about height now. So Mendel picked height. So let's take height. So let's say height is here. Now height, let's put the height as H gene. So let's say, let me call the gene controlling height as what? As H gene. Okay. So we have H gene controlling height. H gene controlling what? Height, controlling height of what? Height of P plant. Okay. Now we have H gene controlling. Let's assume that. Now this H gene, we have two variants of it. This H gene, this gene, we can get tall version, the same genome. That same gene in population, some people are tall, which is capital T, others are short, which is small t. The same gene. Some people have what? Some people have the tall version, others have, and remember, it is something to do with height. Tall deals with height, so this is the tall one. Okay, the tall one. So the tall gene, okay, which is this. Okay, and then we have the word, the short gene, which is this. Now, this variant, okay, the variant of the gene, okay, is called what? It's called an allele. Okay, so the gene is one here like this, but there is a variation of it. So the variant of the gene, whether T, so the T here, T, the tall gene and short gene, they are the what? They are the what? They are the alleles of height gene. So if I take my word, H gene of what? Of P plant, I will have what? I will have capital T and I'll have small t. Okay, so this capital T, so the gene is one, okay, like that, okay, on the chromosome. But this gene, some people will have tall version, others will have short version. So this variant, this variation in this gene is what we call allele. Okay, it's what we call allele. Good. Now, but Mendel made us aware. Mendel made us aware that a gene, a trait is controlled by what? A pair of. So now what Mendel was referring to as factor, we modern day scientists, we know Uncle Kwesi Mendel was actually referring to what Mendel was referring to as factor. Okay, as factor, he meant what? He meant allele or chromosome. Or gene. So what Mendel was referring to as factor, we modern day people, we know that Mendel meant what? He meant an allele. Okay, good. Any confusion? Anybody who is confused up to this point? So whatever Mendel did, we are going to define it in the light of what? In the light. So what Mendel called it factor, we now know Mendel was referring to allele. But at that time, the word allele and the word chromosome, the word gene, they were not in existence. Okay. Now let's go to the next one. The next one is that, so we know that every sexual reproducing organisms are diploid. Okay, sexually reproducing what? Organisms are diploid, which means that they have what? Two sets of what? Two sets of chromosomes. Two sets of chromosomes. Okay, all right. And where from these two sets of chromosomes? The two sets of chromosomes, we had one set, if for human beings, I had one set from what? Our mom's egg, and then, so one set, okay? One set from mom's egg, and another set from what? Another set from what? And another one set from dad. Okay, and so each set is what? Each set is having n chromosomes, n chromosome. That set here is also, so that's what? Sperm. That is another n. So n plus n will give us what? Two set, which is equal to what? When doing fertilization process, so n, okay, n coming together, crossing with another n will give us the word, the 2n, which is the word. So these sexually reproducing organisms are what? Are diploid. So what Mendel was talking about it, Mendel was right. So diploid means that two what? Means what? Two sets of chromosomes. So for instance, if the human beings like that, we have what? We have 46 chromosomes. 46 chromosomes. And these chromosomes are arranged in what? 23 pairs. It's equal to what? 23 pairs. Okay? But that is every cell that we call those cells are called what? Body cells. Body cells. But if I take sperm cell will have what? Just 23. And likewise what? Egg cell will also have what? 23. Okay, so when they cross together to form the zygote, that is where we get the word. Okay, we get the zygote, then we get the 46 chromosomes. So we know that we have what? We have two sets of what? Two sets of chromosomes. We have two sets of what? We have two sets of chromosomes. Okay, we have two sets of chromosomes. And these two sets of chromosomes, okay, we have these two sets of what? Chromosomes. And these two sets of chromosomes, that is what we call as what? Diploid. Okay, so now let's see diploid set. What does it mean? So here, this diploid set, okay, if you go back to the height thing, again, which means that the height of what? Of pea plant has diploid what? Chromosomes. Now, this height, this chromosome that control height, we can get some that are what? So we need two, which is what? One will come from the father, one will come from the mother. Okay, so we get what? We get what? We get capital T, capital T. Some people will be what? So this diploid organism, some people will be capital T, capital T. Others will be what? Okay. So here like that, height like that. Okay.
Doc.
Hello. My dear.
Please, I want the last screen. The last screen that you just.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
okay, so this height here, like this. So let's take height, and the height is a trait, right? So let's say my height here is a trait. My trait here is equal to the height. Trait is equal to height, and then the gene on the chromosome, the gene located on the chromosome, that gene. So gene on the chromosome, that gene we are calling it what? That gene we are calling it what? We are calling it H gene. H gene. Okay. And this H gene, what are the alleles? The alleles are what? What are the alleles? The alleles are what? The alleles are tall allele, short allele. Okay. So individual organisms are diploid. Okay, so individual organisms are diploid, which means they have two sets of chromosomes. Okay, diploid. Okay, so let's say this diploid, what does it mean? So this diploid, what it means is this. Let's see. So some individuals will have this capital T, capital T. Okay, those who have capital T, capital T. Okay, so now let me continue here like that. And we also know that the tall allele, which is this, is dominant. The tall allele is what? Is dominant what? Over short allele, which is small t. Short allele, small t, like that. Okay, so we have this. Okay, short allele, small t. Beautiful. Now that we have this, now look at that. So in the population of pea plant, we will get some people who will have capital T, because we need to inherit two. Somebody pick capital T from the mother, pick capital T from the father. Another person pick capital T from the mother, pick small t from the father. Another person picks small t. So those here, this one here, okay, this one here, okay, these are the gene combo. And this gene combo, you call this one as what? As the genotype. Okay, this is genotype. What is here is also genotype. What is here is also genotype. So what is genotype? So genotype is the what? Is the genetic composition of an organism. Genotype is a genetic composition of an organism. That's genotype. And this genotype here, like this. Okay, this genotype here like this. Okay, like that. Like that. We have 3 possible genotypes now. Okay, all right. Why? Because each organism should have what? 2 sets of chromosomes, and these 2 just make it different. So these are the genotype. Okay, so this alludes here. This is the genotype. So the genetic composition, okay, of an organism. And remember, this genotype is doing what? This genotype is controlling what? Is controlling the traits, controlling the what? The trait. All right. So this genotype is what is controlling the trait. Okay, so let's see what is going to happen. So this one is what? This particular, remember we said that the tall allele is dominant over what? Short allele. So in this case, like I can say that this is what? This one is homozygous dominant. Okay, and what are we going to call this one? This one here is going to be what?
Heterozygous.
Good.
Heterozygous.
Got what? Heterozygous dominant. And this one is what? This one is let me close my bracket here. And this one is homozygous recessive. Homozygous recessive. Please, are we getting it? Are we getting it? So these are in the population of pea plant, there are 2 alleles. These are they. But there are 3 possible genotypes. 3 possible genotypes. What are they? We can get homozygous dominant, we can get heterozygous dominant, and then homozygous what? Recessive, like that. Okay, these are the 3 possible genotypes. Okay, so now that we've gotten this one, let's see what happens. Okay, now, so in terms of height, remember, in terms of height, I will say that because the tall is dominant over short, okay, so now let me come here with my height. Let me come here with my height. Okay, let me come here with my height. Okay, let me come here with my height. All right, let me come here with my height. So for the height, what is going to happen is this. So we have what? Tall, which is, so here will be called what? So this one will be what? This one will be homozygous what? Homozygous
Dominant.
Homozygous tall. Because remember, the tall is the dominant trait, right? So this will become homozygous tall. And the homozygous tall is what Mendel was referring to as pure tall. Are we coming home small? Are you coming?
Yes, Doc.
Are you
Yes,
getting it?
yes, Doc. We are following. We are following.
Good. So what Mendel was calling pure Tor, he meant we modern day people. We know that he was referring to homozygous Tor. Homozygous Tor means capital T, capital T. Okay. All right. And then what Mendel was referring to as pure short, okay, he meant homozygous short. And that homozygous short is what Mendel referred to it as what? Pure short. So anytime they use the word pure in genetics, it means that that thing is what? Yes. So, okay, yeah. So what Mendel referred to as what? As pure short, he meant what? Homozygous recessive, homozygous short. Okay, pure short. So this is what Mendel meant. So what Mendel was referring to as pure short, he meant homozygous short. Okay, and remember, because what? Because tall, because what? See, short allo is what? Is recessive. Because short allo is recessive, okay, what it means here is that it can only be expressed, okay, can only be expressed in the homozygous state. Why? Because if we get something like this, if we get capital T, small t, it will become what? Heterozygous Tor. So for you to become, please, this side is very important. So this side that I'm explaining is very, very important. When we, in population genetics, we will use it a lot. So please make sure you really understand the side very, very, very well. So here, put at the back of your mind that short allo, the recessive allo, okay, can only be expressed in homozygous states. Why? Because just one capital T, the offspring will be tall. Okay, because capital T tall, one capital T and one short T it will still be tall. So the only time somebody will become short is only when the person is what? Is small t, small t. Please, do you understand that? So for short, I don't even have to use the word pure. If you are short, you are short. Because you can only be short, you can only express homozygous, okay, you can only express what? Recessive trait, okay, only when you are homozygous what? Recessive. Only when you have both. So the only way you can be short is only when you have small t, because one capital T alone will still make you tall. Okay, the only way you become short is only when you are small t.
Hello, Doc.
Okay. Hello.
Please, I need clarification if you can come again, because sometimes you have short couples. Both are short, but when they give birth to their children, they have tall children, offspring among them.
Beautiful. Let me even go and see who asked the question. Beautiful. Who asked the question?
Charlotte, please.
Oh, my lady was it. Beautiful question. You see that all these ones that I'm talking about, I am talking about what? I am talking about pea plant. In human beings, the height doesn't work like the way it works in pea plants. Are you with me?
Yes, Doc. I'm listening.
So in human beings, this tall, just tall and short like that, it doesn't work like that for human beings. Human being, it works different. It works differently. So we shall come to that one. Okay. Human
Okay,
being
sir.
height. Let me just say it here. So height, IQ, and skin pigment, they don't follow normal Mendelian crossing. Okay, so we shall come to that one later on. Okay, all right. Okay, so well done. That's a very beautiful observation that you have made. Okay, so this TT, this small t here is what is homozygous what recessive. So the only time this particular recessive trait can be expressed, they can only express them in what homozygous what state. Okay, because one capital T is enough for the pea plant to be tall. All right. So now that we know all this, now let's see what Mendel did. Okay. So let's see. Now let's go to Mendel's experiment. Okay, with height. Okay, Mendel's experiment here. Now, Mendel mentioned so trait is what? Height. The height is the, so our trait is the height. And then Mendel pick what? Mendel pick what? Pure tall. Oh, so the parent. So the parent, he pick what? The parent, he pick pure tall. Pure tall. So the pure tall is the what? Is the phenotype. That's what he saw. That's the word. That's the phenotype. Okay. Pure tall. Okay. So tall. So pure tall here. That's what he saw. Pure tall. Like that. And then he crossed with what? Pure short. Like that. Okay. Pure short. Okay. Pure short. That's what he called them. But we know that. So what is that? So this is what he observed. So the parents, okay. And remember, the tall is the high. So this one is the what? The phenotype. What he observed. This is the phenotype. What he observed. Okay. Now we modern day people, we know that what Mendel was referring to as pure tall, he meant what? Homozygous tall. And what he's referring to as pure short, he meant homozygous recessive. So this is the genotype. So this is the genotype of the parents.
Hello, Doc.
Hello.
Please, this height that we are coming to do, is it for a pea or a
It's
human?
the pea plant. We are still on pea plant too.
Okay, sir.
We are talking about what Mendel did. Still on pea plant. We are repeating what Mendel did in the light of what modern day people. So still on Mendel experiment. So whatever Mendel did, we are now repeating it. You see, Mendel said that Mendel did the experiment without knowing about chromosome, without knowing about gene, without knowing about allos. So now we modern day people are now repeating what he did and see whether what Mendel did was correct or not. Okay, so we are repeating what Mendel. So this is Mendel's first experiment on pea plant. So tall, pure short, and that's the phenotype. That's what he observed. And the word, so we know that the genotype of pure tall means homozygous tall. And then the pure short is homozygous short. So what did he do? He crossed them. So according to Mendel, he said that when the offspring are going to cross, they separate the two factors. So these two factors are the allos. So when the allos are going to cross, what is going to happen? They will separate. Okay, so they will separate like this. So they will be See here. See, like that. Okay, they will separate. And then see here, small t here like this. Small t here like that. So small t. And this separation here, let me put some circle around them. So let me go and draw. Let me go and draw something around them. So let me pick this. So this is that. This is that. This is that. Okay. Then after that, what next? Now, what will happen for us to give this one? So here is the gamete. So this place is the gamete. So the separation is that the sperm cell, okay, we have our gamete here. This is our gamete. Okay, so this is our gamete here. All right. So what Mendel was referring to as well. And then what will happen for us to get the gamete? Mendel mentioned of the separation. Separation. What will happen for us to get the separation of the sperm? What will happen before we get the sperm? So these are the gametes. So this is every cell in our body. This cell, when it's going to form the gamete, it will separate. So this is the separation. Okay. So to get this one, so which process? The process that will occur to ensure that the chromosome, which is 46 here, becoming 23 in the sperm and the egg, is what? Meiosis. So what Mendel was referring to as what? Segregation. Okay, that segregation Mendel referring to segregation. The segregation Mendel was talking about. We modern day people, we know that he was referring to what? He was referring to meiosis. Okay, so when meiosis will occur, then our what? Our genotype will be separated into gametes, and that will get this and that. Okay, so with this one, what is going to happen? Then it's going to this way. So here we have this crossing with this. Okay, it's a random process. Okay, this crossing with this. This crossing with this. And this crossing with this. All right, so here, then let me write the genotypes. Okay, so let's see the genotypes. So here, I will get what? Capital T. This side, oh, sorry, I'll get capital T, small t. Here too, I'll get what? Capital T, small t. Here too, I'll get what? Capital T, small t. So I get capital T, small t. So you can see this was my word, my F1 generation, the first fillet generation. And look at that. You can see that the first fillet generation, all the offsprings are what? All the what? All the F1 offspring are 4. But we modern day people, we know that this Tor is not what? Pure Tor. But what sort of Tor are they? They are what? They are
heterozygous.
good heterozygous. Homozygous tall. So Mendel was right for observing that. Mendel was right that all the F1 generation came out to be tall, which is true. We have done this one with modern terms and realized that. So he picked what? Pure tall. Pure tall, he meant what? Homozygous tall. So this is the genotype. This is the genotype here. And then crossing with the pure short mean that he was what? Homozygous what? Homozygous short. Okay, R for short. I don't even have to say homozygous because you can only be short only when you are homozygous for the trait. Then after crossing the two, all the offspring came out to be tall. And it is true because this tall, well, the fact that we have the capital T is dominant over the word, over the small t. So the small t, one small t expressions will become what? Will make this one become what? Tall. So all of them were what? All of them were heterozygous what? Tall. All right, beautiful. And no wonder all the offspring, all the words. So all the first word, all the first filial generation offspring were tall. And we know why, because they were what? They were heterozygous tall. Okay, so this is the first experiment that Mendel did. Okay, so this is experiment 1. Then, when we went to experiment 2, do you know what he did? He solved the word. So let's see the experiment 2. Experiment 2, he did the word. He did solving of word. Solving of word of F1 generation. Solving of what? F1 generation. Solving of F1. Solving of F1 generation. Solving of F1 generation. Okay, solving of F1 generation. Let's see what you are going to get. So my F1 generation, I wish they are what? Remember, they are tall, okay, as well. So phenotypically, in terms of here, phenotypically, in terms of phenotype, they will appear what? They will appear.
Madam Fidelia,
Tall.
your microphone.
Okay. Fidelia, please mute your mic for me. Please mute your mic for me. Please, kindly mute your mic for me.
Yes, I have done it. No.
All right. Oh, you're a darling. You're a darling. For my ladies here, they are so special. So here we have what? So this one is tall, and this one will also what? Tall. But we know now that. So let's see the genotype. So this is the genotype. The genotype here. Okay, so the genotype, they are what? So the genotype, they are, we know that the genotype of the F1, they are heterozygous tall. Okay, then the next one, what is going to happen? That is the word meiosis. Meiosis. And meiosis, when meiosis occurs, what happens here? We get what? We get capital T, small t, crossing with what? Capital T, small t. So this one will give us the word, the gamete. The gamete. So let me go and pick my marker again. So my gamete here, my gamete here, my gamete, my gamete here, my gamete here. All right. So what is going to happen? Fertilization is going to occur. Okay, so we are going to cross. Okay, so where the crossing occurs, is the fertilization. Okay, all right, so where the crossing occurs is the fertilization. So here fertilization is going to occur here. Fertilization. Okay, so let's see. Now fertilization is going to occur. So let's see. Okay, so we get this crossing with this. Okay. And this crossing with that. This crossing with this. This crossing with that. All right. So let's see the we are going to get. So you get to a capital T, capital T, capital T, small t. Always write the dominant before recessive. So here you can see that this one, capital T, capital T, capital T, small t. This one, small t with the capital T. So write capital T, small t. And then finally, we'll have what? Small t, small t.
Small t. Small t.
Right. Good. So this one becomes our word. Our F2. This one becomes our F2. That's the second word. That's the second filia generation. Okay, offspring. Second filia generation offspring. Now look at Mendel. Remember, Mendel didn't know anything here. So Mendel, when Mendel did that, look at his observation. So what Mendel did, look at that. You see, this is what Mendel saw. You see, from here to here, the one I've highlighted red, how would they appear to Mendel?
Tall.
Yes, all of them will be tall, right? So all of them here, so here, and you can see in terms of ratio, you can see 3 tall from here to here, they are all wide. So this one that I'm going to highlight here like that. Okay, this one. So let me take the highlight here out. So here you can see that the highlight part here, all of them are wide, tall. Okay, and this non-highlight part, okay, becomes what? Short. Like that. So you can see that the phenotypic ratio, the phenotypic ratio from the selfing of what? Of F1 to get what? To get F2, the ratio of what? The ratio of the F2 offspring is equal to what? The ratio of the F2 offspring is equal to what? 3 tall is to what? 1 short. And that will give you 3 is to what? That will give you 3 is to 1. Please, you get it. And that is what Mendel saw. So when Mendel checked the plant, when he counted them, that is how come that the 1,000 plants, he had what? He had 750, okay, tall, and what? 250 short. All right. Please, are we clear with that? Are we clear with that? So what Mendel did was right. Any confusion so far? Any confusion so far? Any confusion so far? Any confusion so far? Any confusion so far?
No confusion.
No, 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 doc, no, no, doc, no confusion.
Beautiful.
It's clear.
Beautiful. Okay. So
Very, very clear.
like that. So here, so solving of F1, that is what Mendel saw. All right. Then Mendel did the last experiment, which I salute Mendel for, which you see this one, all this one, are we doing? You see, all this one we are doing, we are considering only one trait. All these things that we are doing for Mendel, we are considering only one trait. So all these things are still what? Monohybrid inheritance. Because we are only considering just the height alone. Have we said that? So it is still monohybrid. Okay. Monohybrid, mono means one, right? So monohybrid inheritance. Good. Okay. So now that we've gotten this, let's see what happens. Okay, let's see. Oh, where are my genotypes here? Okay. Okay. All right. Like that. Okay. So now that we've gotten this, what is the way forward? Beautiful. So we have what? We have short and wide. Good. Now Mendel decided the E. So now this F1 generation, they are tall. This F1 generation, they are tall. This F1 generation, they are tall. And this what? This F1 generation, they are tall. And this pure, so this pure tall, look at the tall. This one is pure tall. And this is also tall. Now, when they are there, how would you distinguish them? So he did something we call back cross. Okay? Back cross. It's simple, okay? I use different terms, but don't worry. Back cross is simply crossing one parent. Okay, crossing. Okay, if you cross, if you do this one like that, back cross is something like this. If I decided to just cross the offspring with one of the parent, that's back cross. For instance, okay, like you cross this, this is the children here. You cross the children here with the what? With the parent is back cross. Okay, so when you do back cross here like that, crossing the what? The children here. Okay, after this one, we don't see it in human beings, but we see it in goats. After goats, they don't respect anything. Okay, the goat can cross the mother. You see small boy goats chasing the mother goat. Okay, good. So here like that. So when I cross this one here, the parent here. Oh, where is the first? Let me go the first one. So let's see if I cross this parent here with this child here. That's back cross. I can cross this with this, or I can cross this with that. Okay, so when you do that, it is called back cross. Okay, so when you cross the parent with the what? The offspring with the parent, that's back cross. Now there is this specific type of back cross. There is this specific type of back cross. We call it what? Test cross. Okay. There's this specific type of back cross, we call it test cross. And this test cross, we do it to what? To distinguish between, okay, we do it to do what? To distinguish between, we do that cross to distinguish between, okay, homozygous dominant and what? Homozygous dominant homozygous dominant and heterozygous dominant. Okay, so we do this cross to distinguish between the two. Okay, and what is this cross about? This special type of back cross that we call it what? Test cross. Let me let this one go here. Okay, all right, like that. Okay, cause this that will distinguish between what? Homozygous dominant and what? Heterozygous what? Heterozygous dominant. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Please,
Are you?
your phones are too small for some of us our eyes. So this evening.
Okay. Okay. So then let me bring it here. Let me bring it down here so that I can increase it. Okay. So there's this test cross that would distinguish between what? Homozygous dominant and heterozygous dominant. So let's see how it's like. Let's see how it's like. Okay, so this test cross is this. So let's take it this way. So you cross this one with this. Okay, so this one, you cross this is homozygous dominant, right? Okay, so all right, so let's say A here, and then let me go for the B. The B here. Let me go capital T, crossing with what? So this one, capital T, small t, crossing with what? Small t. Okay, all right. So the ladies, please do this one for me and give me the phenotypic and genotypic ratio. And then the gentlemen, please do the B1 and give me the phenotypic and genotypic ratio. Please, your time starts now. So the ladies, do this crossing for me. Do the cross between this and that. And then the gentlemen, do the cross between this and that. So this is heterozygous dominant. This is homozygous dominant. Okay, so the ladies, please do it and then give me your score. And then the gentlemen, do it and give me your, so this, okay, give me your phenotypic ratio and the genotypic ratio. Okay, so you have 2 minutes to do it. My ladies, are you done?
Yes, Doc. Yes, Doc.
I know the ladies will finish first. I know. Adriman, are you still struggling? Adriman, are you still struggling? Ajingo, are you still struggling? The ladies are done. Okay, so now let's see. Let's see the first one here. So the ladies, okay, so we'll do this one, the first one. So let me go and pick my drawing. So here, please here, we'll do it straightforward. Unless they ask you the question in section B, but let's do the crossing straightforward. So here, this we take that. Okay, this we take that. This we take that, and this we take that. All right. So let's see, the ladies. What did you get? What did you get?
Auto. Auto. Capital T,
Auto.
small.
They are also.
Yes, they're
So
auto.
which means that there's nothing like phenotypic ratio or genotypic ratio, because everything is one. They are auto.
Everything is.
So all of them came out to be capital
So,
T, small t,
small T,
okay,
capital T.
capital T, small t, okay, capital T, small t, and capital T, small t. So which means that when the plant is what? Is pure tall, there is no way it can give birth to a short plant. Even when
Hello, sir.
Hello, yes.
I want to wee. Alan, you were calling me.
Hey, Ajungo, look at you.
Yes, sir. I want to
Even small crossing. Small crossing.
was full.
Small
So I want
genotype,
to,
you are suffering. You started wearying yourself.
I went up.
Oh God, we are forgiving you. All our way. So we are all.
I've been looking from 5 up to now. I've done what I live.
All our way. All at all. Good. Okay. All at all. Now let's look at that of the gentleman's own. Okay. So which means that when the what you can see that when the person is homozygous tall, even when it's what, even when the plant marries a short plant, okay, all their children, all the offspring will still be what? Tall throughout. But let's look at something here. When the person is heterozygous tall, and then you cross, you see this crossing with this, you get capital T, small t. This crossing with this, you get capital T, small t. But this crossing with this, small t, small t. This crossing with this, small t, small t. All right. Good. So here, what is the phenotypic ratio? What is the phenotypic ratio?
2 short, 2 short.
Too tall, too
So
short.
it will be what? It will be, so too tall, too short. Which is the same as what? 1 is to what? 1 is to 1.
1 is to 1.
Have you seen it? Please, can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, dog.
Okay, because you divide it. So it's a ratio means the simplest term. So we'll take it this way. So which means that when the person is what? Heterozygous tall. When the plant is heterozygous tall and crosses with what? Homozygous recessive, there is 50% chance of giving birth to what? A short plant. So this is how we use it to distinguish what? Distinguish between what? Distinguish between homozygous dominant and heterozygous what? Dominant. For homozygous what? Homozygous dominant, okay? Homozygous dominant. Homozygous dominant, that is pure tall, all the offspring what? When it crosses, like when it crosses with homozygous what? Short, all the offspring were short, were tall. Then, when you cross what? Heterozygous what? Dominant or heterozygous tall means what? Hetero tall. Okay, you have what? You can see the phenotypic ratio 50%. So 50% what? Tall, 50% short. All right, so ratio of what? Tall is what? Tall and short is what? It's equal to what? 1:1. All right, okay. So this is how we use. So this particular test, whereby you cross the word, you cross the unknown. So if you don't, let's take you say, if I don't know the genotype here, and I cross it, I can tell that this particular genotype are what they are. This is the fact that I could get short. If I get short, then I know that this is what? This is homozygous what? This is homozygous tall. If I don't get short at all, then it is pure tall. Please, do you understand that? And then this test is called test. Yes. Hello.
So which one become the genotypic ratio?
So the genotypic ratio is still the same. In the case of this one, here there's no genotypic ratio, there's no ratio, because everything is the same. You can only find ratio only when the things are different, right?
So Doc, how is that one determined?
Which one?
The genotypic.
Here, this side, there's no genotypic ratio. On this side here, there's no genotypic ratio or at all. There's no phenotypic ratio too. All of them are capital T, small t, capital T, small t. You can only ask of ratio only when there are two different things. At least two different things are there. But if they are all the same, you can't ask of ratio. Are you with me? Hello? Hello?
Yes, Doc.
Yeah, so for instance, in this class, I can say that what's the ratio of male to female. But if all the people are males, you can't ask of ratio because they are all males. You understand that? So here, we don't talk of phenotypic ratio here. Phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio are not here. But here, phenotypic ratio is what gave us 2 tall, 2 short, which is 1:1. And the genotypic ratio, what will be the genotypic ratio here? If I come here, my genotypic ratio will be like this. The genotypic ratio will be equal to what? Will be equal to capital T, small t, and the what? Small t, which is what? Which is also equal to what? 2:2, which is the same as what? Which is the same as 1:1. Are you there?
Hello, Doc.
Yes, please.
What I'm getting from his question is that, for instance, let's take this. You have heterozygous tall, 2 heterozygous tall. You are crossing 2 heterozygous tall. You see that you have maybe 25%. Maybe you have a ratio that will be short. Then the tall, you have homozygous tall and heterozygous tall. So in that case, is it that when you get a homozygous and heterozygous tall, are you going to now use it? That is where the distinction with the use of genotype. I don't know whether that is when the genotype will come in, or you just so I don't know the example I'm giving. Maybe crossing heterozygous.
So here, what I just wrote here, when you cross homozygous, the pure tall, with the what? With this, all of them came out to be tall. So that is the indicator. and then you cross heterozygous tall with this, you will get 50% short. So that will tell me that when I cross this with this, if I cross this with what? With this, I will get 50% chance of what? 50% chance of giving of short. Okay, so the phenotypic ratio will get 50% short, 50% tall, which is the ratio is 1:1. So I didn't get the question that he asked. So second,
what I'm saying is that
no, okay,
is that the likelihood?
Yeah, it's
Hello,
probability.
Doc.
It's probability. That's the chance.
That you can.
You can give birth to a short child. That is what it meant here.
Yes.
If you're heterozygous tall, you can give birth to a short child. But if you're homozygous homozygous dominant, you can't. That's what it means.
Yeah. So what I'm deducing from the descent is that the possibility to cross two heterozygous tall instead of the examples we have given? You know,
no,
the
this
first
one
example
is this particular one is what you call test cross. It's a special test you are performing so that you'll be able to distinguish between that your. So let's take it this way. I'm coming. So let's take it this way that you've given me. Let's take it this way that you've given me two unknown genotypes. One of them is pure tall, another one is heterozygous tall. How would I know which one is pure tall and which one is heterozygous tall? So what I will do is that I will let them cross with homozygous recessive. If they cross with homozygous recessive, the tall one, the pure tall one, will have all the children being tall, but the pure short one will have some of the children. The heterozygous tall will have some of the children being short. That's what it means. So, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, Doc.
No, I want the one who asked the question to add. If you are pure tall, hello. Yeah.
My question was, if you look at, for instance, the B1, so you have capital T, small t, capital T, small t, then small t, small t, small t, small t. So which one? How will you know that this one is for genotype, this one is for phenotype?
No, but capital T, small t is genotype. That's when they rewrite the alphabets like that. The capital T, the alphabet writing here, these are genotype. Phenotype is this, is tall and short. This one is short. Maybe you didn't join the class earlier. From the question you were asking, I could tell you didn't join the class earlier.
Doc, let me come in here. You see, the phenotype is the physical appearance of that organism.
Yeah, phenotype is a physical appearance. So if I give you this, so here, all these ones, they are all tall. Yeah. Okay, this is tall. Yeah. All of them, they are all tall. This is tall as well. So I want to distinguish between this, and this, that. So when they are there, I want to know whether are they this. What I want to know, if they say I have A, I'm there. You've given me two people who are tall, two tall people. All right, you've given me two tall people. Let me give you one more slide here. You give me two tall people. Let's say Ajingo is here. Ajingo is here, okay? So let's say I have my Ajingo here. Ajingo is tall. This is the phenotype. The phenotype is what I can see. Tall. This is tall. That's the phenotype. Now, you've given me another person who is also tall. All right. I'm just using as analogy. Another person, that's let's say Frank.
Nice baby.
Frank is also tall, like that. So they are all tall. So when you say phenotype is this, what you can see. Phenotype is the tall you can see.
That's the height of the person.
The height. Not necessarily the height. What the height is specific here is tall. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not just the height.
Yes.
There's something specific about the height. The height is tall. Okay. So this is what you can see. So the phenotype you can see here, the phenotype is tall. The phenotype here is also tall. That's what you can see. But the two of them, one of them is pure tall. One of them, so here, let's say Frank is pure tall. Capital T. And then here is what? Capital T. And Ajingo is heterozygous tall. But when they are there, so this one here is the genotype. This is the gene. But when the person is walking on the street, you can't see. You can't just look at the person is tall. Okay, you can't just look at the person and say you are this. You can't. So what do I do? So what I do is that I want to know who is pure tall. Okay, who is pure tall? Is Ajingo pure tall or Frank is pure tall? Okay, so what am I going to do? I will invite short girls from China. Okay, all right, all of them.
I don't like China girls too.
So
I don't like China girls.
I invite
like
short
girls.
girls from China. So this is short, and then let them cross with Ajingo and see. So let's see. So Ajingo will cross with them like that, like this. When Ajingo crossed with them, all the children came out to be what? All the children came out to be capital T, small t, capital T, small t, capital T, small t, capital T, small t. So which means that no, this is Ajingo. Okay, this is Ajingo, sorry. So Ajingo had what? Ajingo had capital T, small t, another capital T, small t.
Hello.
And then small t, small t.
Hello.
So you can see from here that by genotype, the genotype, when we meet genotype is capital T, small t is to small t, which is equal to what? 2:2, which is the same as what? 1:1. Then, if you look at phenotype, what am I going to see? Phenotype, you can see Ajingo will have what? Will have 2 tall, he's slightly 2 tall, 2 is to what? 2 tall, 2 tall, 2 short. Like that. This is tall. And this is what? This is short. And which is also the same as what? Which is the same as 1:1. So phenotype is what you will see. So Ajingo being heterozygous tall can give birth to a short child. But when you are pure tall, like this one, the capital T here, if you let this capital T here, capital T cross with what? The pure tall with this one, the children will be what? The offspring there, all the children will be what? All the children will be capital T, small t, capital T, small t, capital T, small t, capital T, capital T, small t. So here, all of them are the same. So we don't talk of ratio. All tall. All tall. So phenotypically, all of them are tall. But I will ask you to find phenotypic ratio. Why? Because all of them are tall. Please, do you understand what I'm saying here?
Yes, it's well understood.
Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
this is the genotype. So this genotype here, in terms of the genotype, I would say they are what? They are heterozygous what? Heterozygous what? Oh, this is what I would say.
So,
Okay. All right. So in terms of genotype, because this is the heterozygous, but phenotypically all tall. But genotypically, I will know that this is not pure tall. This is what? Heterozygous tall. So this is how we distinguish between somebody with this and someone with this. The one with this can have what? Can have a short child, a short offspring. Okay, a short offspring. But this one can never have short offspring. That's what it means. Okay. Now, quick one. This question I normally ask it in exams, but when I ask it in some exams, I can say that why do we do cross tests? Why do we do cross tests? Why cross tests? We do it to do what?
To establish.
To distinguish between homozygotes
Dominance.
Or and what? And heterozygous dominant. Or to tell whether to tell an organism bearing dominant trait. To tell whether an organism with a dominant trait is what? Is homozygous or heterozygous. So you want to know whether this organism is having dominant trait. Is tall, but is it pure tall or heterozygous tall? Now, I can ask the question in different, I can provide answers. I can also say that I can perform this test to detect, I can perform the test to detect whether an organism with a dominant trait has a recessive allele or not. Are the two statements the same?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what I'm saying here is that, okay, I want to see whether an organism with a dominant trait has a recessive allele or not. If you don't have recessive allele at all, it means you are homozygous. If you have it, it means you are heterozygous. So another way I can put the same cross test and I ask you to say that in order to detect recessive allele, to detect the presence, I can say that I can do it to detect the word, to detect the presence of word, the presence of recessive allele in a dominant trait. Okay, so this is another way you can also put it. Okay, because if you have the recessive allele, if you have the dominant trait and you have recessive allele, it means you are heterozygous. If you don't have it, you are homozygous. Okay, all right, good. Okay, I think our time is up. I'll give you one question and then we'll call it a day. Okay, now example of stuff. Okay, so example of what? Example of what? Stuff of trait. That's what that tend to follow what let's say monohybrid. Let's say one example of monohybrid word cross. Monohybrid cross. Okay, let's see human skin pigment, like skin pigment. Skin pigment. Okay, so this thing, the skin pigment, we have what? Normal normal skin pigment, okay, is what? Is dominant over, so that is what? So it's dominant over what? Over albino. Okay, albino is recessive. So it's what? Small a. Okay, now if we ask this one, so albino is what? It's recessive. Okay, albino is recessive. Okay, albino is recessive. Now, if you have what? So albino is what recessive, so small a. Now, if albino carrier, so heterozygous what? Heterozygous individuals like that. Okay, let's say somebody like this, like that. We call it what? It's heterozygous, so we call those one. They are not albinos. They will not be albinos. They will have normal skin, but we say they are carriers. They are carriers. They will not show the traits. Okay, but they will have they are carriers. Okay, so now let me ask you this question. A man who is what? Who is a albino carrier? Okay, marries what? Marries a woman who is also albino carrier. So carrier means heterozygous, okay? All right, then the first question goes, what is the probability that their child will be A, albino, B? Okay, so listen, this albino allo. So here, because albino is recessive, for somebody, for this one is what? AA is normal skin pigment, normal. Okay, no, this one is normal. Okay, they will have normal skin. Okay, if this will also have normal skin, we have normal skin. But it's a word, we refer to them as carriers. And then AA is the word, it's albino. Okay, AA is albino. All right. Now, what's the probability that the child A is albino, B is carrier, C normal? Okay, so let's start work. So let me give you 2 minutes to do this one. Okay, so everybody, please, all hand on deck, So this is the question on board. A man marries a man who is what? Albino carrier. Who is albino? A man who is what? Albino carrier marries what? A woman who is also albino carrier. What's the probability that their child will be A, albino, B, carrier, C, normal? Okay. Okay, let me add D. Not albino. Okay, let's say we'll have normal skin pigment. Okay, good. So this is the question we are going to close with. So let's solve it quickly. Please, you have 2 minutes to finish.
So I'm done.
So you have one normal.
Say I'm done. %25 normal,
Okay.
albino.
All right.
25% albino.
Okay. Good.
Carrier 50%. Normal
Good.
25.
Normal is what?
25%.
Good. And then we'll have normal skin pigment.
Yeah,
It's what? D, the D.
25%.
Oh, that one is very tricky. So let's see. So this is the man. So the man is here. Okay, man here. The man is what? A. So it's carrier. So it's what? It's heterozygous. Okay. And then the woman is also carrier. This, like that. Okay. And then what are we going to get? So when they cross, what are we going to get? We'll get what? We'll get capital A, capital A, small a, capital A, small a, small a, small a. Do you all agree to that? You all agree to this?
Yes.
All right. So with this one, now question one. So with this, okay, with this one is normal. That's normal. We refer to them as normal. Okay. All right. This one, those ones here, they will have normal skin pigment. Just that genotypically we refer to them as carriers. They won't be albinos, but they are carriers. And these are the albinos. Okay, albino. Okay, so the question one. So what's the probability of having what? A child who is what? Who is a child who is albino. So albino is what? Will be 1 over what? 1 over 4, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 25%. And then B what? Carrier. Carrier is there what? So probability of carrier.
50%.
Carrier is what?
50%.
It's 2 over 4 over 4 giving us what? 50%.
50%.
And then the last one's of what? Probability of getting normal. Normal is what? Normal is what? Also 1 over 4, which is equal to 25%. Now the D is saying that not probability of what? Not albino.
75%.
Excellent. I know only lady can get this. Only lady.
It's 3 over
Only lady.
75.
Yes. So all this one says, so here only these ones are albino. The rest have all this one, they have normal skin pigment. Okay. No, but genotypically we refer this one as carriers and this one as normal. So but they will have what? So here not albino is the same as what? Not albino is the same as normal. Not albino is the same as what? Normal skin pigment. Okay, and that will give us what? That will give us
3 out of 4.
3 over 4, which is equal to what? 75%. No, the ladies in this class, they are too brilliant. They are too brilliant. No, they are something else. They are brilliant, too brilliant. How were you people born? How? All right. So we'll end the class this way. Now, let me trick you a little bit. I won't take the answer today. You can WhatsApp me your answer later on when in the course of the week when you get it. If the couple have 2 children, okay, A, what is the probability that the first and the second child, the first child first child will be what? Will be the first and second child will be albinos. And then B. B. What's the probability that the first child will be albino, and the second is a carrier. All right. Okay. And the last one, C. Okay, both children will have normal skin pigment. Okay, all right. So this one, you are using the same preamble here. You are using the same preamble, but in this case, I'm saying that they have two kids. And what is the probability that? Okay, so here is B. What's the probability that? So now you are using the same preamble. Okay, the same thing here. What if they have two kids? What probably the first child and second child will be albino? First child will be albino, and second child will be a carrier. And then the next one is that the children will have normal. Both children will have normal skin pigment. All right. Thank you so much for having me. It's been wonderful you coming. In fact, you've done very well. Class is amazing class, and then you've done very well. So please do this one, and then you can WhatsApp me your answers, okay? And then I think I will save this. I will save the slides and then WhatsApp it to Ajiman. Okay, let me save the slides here. Save as switch here. Okay, so okay, for G, this is Mendel genetic 1. Okay, so I will save this one here, and then I will send it to Ajiman so that Ajiman will forward it to the class. Thank you so much for having me. Have a good evening and a blessed week. And may God richly bless you.
Good evening, Doc. Your WhatsApp.
God bless you, Doc. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, Doc.
Have a good night.
The slice.
The slide I'm coming to. Yes. Madam Jidan, you said my number. I thought you have it.
Yes,
Okay, so
Yes, please. The
I don't have it.
WhatsApp number.
Okay, so I'm coming to.
Hello.
Oh, look at me. So all right, so I will send the slides to Ajiman. Okay, I'm gonna do it now so that you don't forget. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good evening. And then Ajiman, please, we'll talk back door. Okay, we'll talk back door. Okay, all right, good. Thank you. Have a good night. God bless you.
Beba, Coco Beba, Beba. Oscar. Oscar. Let's check that hard. Hello. Hello. Uncle Dynasty. Coco Cassay.